Hey everybody, it's Katie. Are you a new mom or maybe an about to be new mom and you've been seeing these things about hire this sleep trainer or pay me this money and we will help you help your baby to learn how to sleep? Well, that was me not too long ago, and I wanted to share with you the backstory on how it all worked out for us when we hired a sleep trainer. Let me share a little bit of history with you. My daughter is going to be 2 at the end of the summer, and so it's been a little while. I am a little overdue in this video, but we had one of our viewers ask the question, did you ever do a follow-up on that? And I thought, no, I didn't. Oops. So here's the follow-up. When our youngest was about 3.5 months old, I was losing my mind because she wouldn't sleep and she needed to be bounced and held, and she didn't really like the pacifier. I don't know whose baby that is, but it wasn't mine. But anyway, she didn't like the pacifier, and I was literally losing my brain because she wouldn't sleep, and I didn't know how to help her. So there's a website that I've been following for quite some time. It's all about babies and sleep and scheduling and all that. And they were having a special, and I decided to jump on that special. It was a really good price. So my husband was like, he didn't want to say no. I don't know what he actually thought about it, but he was like, yeah, go ahead, probably because he saw the desperation. So he said, yeah, go ahead. And so we paid for it, and we got this sleep study, and we filled out this super long questionnaire, and we answered all these questions. And then we got an email a little while later with a woman introducing herself as the sleep coach and this big long pamphlet of paper. Now, I did do a video about this right after we got it. If you'd like to watch that, you can click up here somewhere. There will be a tab for it, and you can watch that video. That'll give you a lot more information as far as content and what we found in there and that type of thing. But for today's purposes, I kind of want to talk about what happened after we got it and all that. So we got this thick packet talking about ways to help our baby sleep. And I think I read it in probably like 30 seconds. I was speed reading. I was pretty excited. After I devoured it, we implemented it, and fast forward a lot, and I'm going to tell you that it didn't work. At least not the way the sleep study intended it to work. However, there's a couple reasons for that. One, I realized that I wasn't willing to take away some of the sleep associations that my youngest had. The pacifier / suckling, nursing to sleep, that type of thing. She would take a pacifier a little bit, not a whole lot. And I actually didn't want to take that away from her. I actually would like her to have a pacifier because it helps quite a bit when we are on road trips or when we fly, which we do at least 1 to 2 trips a year. And it helps with her ears, and I also feel like it's a really big comfort. So that was something that I just wasn't really willing to take away. So that was part of it, is that was a sleep association that I wasn't really willing to take away. Nursing to sleep, this is my last baby, and I know that everybody's different, and if I know there's probably mamas who don't feel this way, and that's totally okay. But for me, I enjoyed rocking and snuggling with my baby and nursing and letting her get really mellow. And when she was really little, she would fall asleep at the breast. And as she got a little older, she learned how to stay awake, but it was just a really calming thing for her. So those were 2 really big associations that I just wasn't willing to take away from her. So that was a big reason why it didn't work. Another reason why I think that it probably didn't work is I know that with sleep training, pretty much any kind of sleep training, there's going to be some crying, and they did say that in the paperwork, and I was prepared for it. I wasn't prepared for the amount of crying that my little one was going to do. And I just made the decision that I was going to wait a while. I wasn't willing to take away the associations, and I wasn't willing to let her cry. Now, they didn't say to go hardcore crazy and just, let her cry it out at 4 months old, but they did say, you can take the gentle approach, or you can take a more aggressive approach, and, the gentle approach will take longer, and, so on and so forth. And so I kind of just said, I'm gonna shelf this for a little while and maybe come back to it. There's a lot of really great information that I got from it, and I kind of wanted to share with you some of the really great stuff that ended up helping us in the long run with sleep training, quote unquote. And the first one was, it gave me what I didn't know how to do. Was when you're sleep deprived and crazy and you're hormonal and upset because your baby won't sleep, it's hard to get your brain, or at least it was for me, hard to get my brain unjumbled about like a plan of attack. What do I do when she won't sleep? What do I do when I've tried everything? Where do I start? What do I do? I don't know what to do. I'm doing everything I can, including bouncing my kid on an exercise ball in my lap because she won't sleep, and that's not sustainable. One of the really great things about the plan was it gave me a plan of attack from start to finish, and it was like, well, what happens if this happens? Well, then you do this. Well, what about this? Well, then you do that. So it answered a lot of my questions, and yes, I could have just read some books, but I didn't have time for that. With a really busy older sibling and a crazy baby who didn't sleep, I don't have time for books. So the money, in my mind, was fairly well spent just because it answered everything and it was in a nice compact little pamphlet. So it kind of told me where to start. And one of the great things it said is, don't do sleep training for bedtime and naps because you'll just screw everything up. Just focus on one area at a time, which was great because I could expend that emotional energy to work on bedtime and work on that, and then not worry, not beat myself up during the day if naps were going to complete pot, which they probably were. Another really great thing that the sleep study taught me was, and I didn't know this, but apparently night sleep and naptime sleep are two different animals. The brain handles sleep at night differently than it does sleep during the day. And so one of the things they said is, if you want to take her pacifier away at night because it's causing problems when she wakes up and she doesn't have it in her mouth or whatever, you can do that, but then you can still let her have it during the day for nap time because it's handled by two different parts of the brain. So I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, I didn't end up taking the pacifier away either time. I always had it available if she wanted it, which sometimes she didn't. But another positive about the sleep study was that it kind of broke down the day. So she was about 3.5 months. They said start around 4 months, and it broke down the day. And they said, okay, at this time, because I told them about when she was waking up, and they said, okay, at this time, your goal is to start getting her ready for her first nap. So quiet things down, and then they did that throughout the day, and then they said your goal for this week is to have this much sleep for the first nap and then the second nap, and so on and so forth. So it broke it down for me. Even though I knew she needed X naps a day, 4 naps a day, it was nice to have like a schedule to kind of shoot for. And I say shoot for because I wasn't super rigid, but it was nice to have a 15-20 minute window of like, okay, this is when I need to start doing things. So as I said, it didn't work out the way I planned, but that's okay, because what I learned from using this sleep plan and then having it just kind of in the drawer, I did shelf it at the 4-month mark, but I used a lot of what I had read and a lot of what I had learned later on, say around 7-8 months, where when she was that age, I felt a little bit more comfortable letting her cry for longer periods of time, because I guess I kind of knew her a little better. At 3.5 months, I was still very much learning who this little person was and what kind of things she liked and didn't like, and what her emotional, who she was really. And so it didn't work out the way I thought it would, but it's great because later on when I did get to the point where I was ready to start maybe doing a little bit more, like, okay, I just fed her an hour ago, she's not hungry, I'm going to give her a few minutes. We also did a little trick with the pacifier where she was able to figure out how to get it and put it back in her mouth at all times. And if you want to know what that trick is, then you can email me, because I'm not going to say it. If I had to do it over again, I probably would have purchased it, simply because it gave me everything I need in one nice little package with her name on it, and it wasn't 5 or 6 different sleep training books, and I picked a lot of little pieces out of it, and at the end of the day, she's a pretty good little sleeper right now. It took a little longer, but that's okay. I don't mind waiting for her. She's worth it. So if you like the video, friends, please click like. If you know of anybody who is losing their mind because their baby won't sleep, I would love if you would share the video, if you'd consider that. That would be awesome. If you have any questions, you're always welcome to email me. I'd also like to invite you to be a subscriber. If you're a subscriber, then you'll get an email notification when we do new videos, which, by the way, is every week. And we would love to have you join us on our journey into family and babies and all that, the crazy stuff that comes along with it. Yeah, we have a Facebook page, we have a blog. We'd love for you to join us and reach out, be a part of the community. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your day.